So, I'm Corey Huck. I'm the chair of the School of Health Promotion and Human Development. It's my honor to kick things off. And let me start by saying, spring is here. Right? Finally. Maybe. No, let's hope. So, a few logistical things before we get started. This building is a big square, and the bathrooms, okay, are on the far side of the building. Okay. I also want to say thank you. Carly is here. Okay, she is a graduate of ours from the food nutrition program, and she's serving as the interim manager of the cafe. They prepared the food. Give a round of applause to Carly. Thank you, Carly. Carly and some of our students operate that cafe. And Deanna's hiding over there as well. Come on out, Deanna. Thank you for planning and preparing this great event. Thank you, Deanna. She had the help of two of our students, Dallas and Caitlin, so a quick shout out to them. Are they here somewhere? Yeah. Oh, there's Dallas. Raise your hand, Dallas. Thank you. Is Caitlin here? She's up there? Okay, thank you, Caitlin. All right, so you might be thinking to yourself, what is the School of Health Promotion and Human Development? As far as our organization goes, we have 3 units: food nutrition, health promotion, wellness, and family consumer science. We have about 8 or 9 majors, okay? And we are unified by a lot of different things, but we're also unified by our mission. And our mission is to develop professionals who study, promote, and model lifelong wellness for individuals, families, and communities. So you might be thinking, well, my son or daughter is probably learning skills, and they are. And they're probably learning lots of content, and they are. But what makes us unique is that we strive to inspire students. And we hope that students inspire others. Why? To make a difference. And that's what we hope all of you take out of today's celebration. That something here inspires you to go make a difference. So we're going to be recognizing a lot of award recipients for a lot of outstanding things. We have some faculty who are receiving awards as well as students. And we also want to acknowledge some of our donors. Okay, so throughout this recognition, you're going to hear a lot of stories, you're going to hear a lot of great things, and I hope that you're inspired. Okay, we have a lot of awards to give out tonight. We have some outstanding faculty and students, okay, which some of you know. So I don't want to take up too much time here. We have some guests who are going to give speeches. So I'm going to start out by bringing up one of our staff, Deborah Tang. She's going to announce our first award recipient who actually has to leave pretty soon. So, yep, and Andy Wetter, thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Our first award tonight goes to Jacqueline Braun. Jackie is the recipient of the Dean's Award for Outstanding Senior in Dietetics. Jackie will be pursuing a combined master's in dietetic internship at Northern Illinois University this fall. Jackie is making the award circuit this evening, and that's why I'm speaking out of turn. She will need to leave shortly to receive the 2018 Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Judy Krukman Swimming and Diving Scholar Athlete Award. Quite a mouthful. In addition, she found out last week that she was selected for the prestigious Chancellor's Leadership Award, a recognition for graduating students who have contributed significant leadership throughout their careers at UWSP. Congratulations, Jackie. And now, she needs to leave. I would like to call up one of my colleagues, Terry Idema, for her introduction.
Thank you, Donna. Oh boy, do I really have to use this thing? I don't think I've ever used a microphone in my life. I sort of have an outside voice. Can everybody hear me? Okay, it's my pleasure this evening to introduce Dr. John Munson. John created the first academic wellness program in the United States at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. He led the School of Health Promotion and Human Development as its Associate Dean from 1996 to 2002. John also served on the Board of Directors for the National Wellness Institute from 2011 to 2017. John is intimately involved with his local and global community. He leads service trips, Methodists in Mission, to Ghana, Africa, where he and trip participants assist communities and school leaders to educate citizens by building employment opportunities and providing remote medical care services. Now, if you know John Munson at all, I would say that was a rather brief and modest bio, right? I think I have 5 minutes. Do I have 5 minutes? Okay, so I was asked to introduce John because I've been around for a while and I've known John for a long time. So I'd like to take those few minutes that I have remaining to just share a little bit of wisdom that I've gained from John working with him over the years. A few years back, I had the opportunity to hear John give a presentation at a conference. I think it was titled something like Life Lessons from Munson. Everybody should hear it sometime. Tonight I'd like to share just one life lesson, and there are many in the interest of time, that I learned from my years working with John. So if we could rewind 25 years, yeah, sorry John, not 10, but 25. We were chatting out in the cafe before the start of the formal presentation. John hired me here at UWSP 25 years ago, and I was super excited to start my new job. And about 2 weeks following, I found out I was pregnant. And so it took me another couple of weeks to muster up all of my courage and walk into John's office and share this news. And honestly, besides our immediate families, John was as excited as anybody about the fact that I was going to have my first baby. But it doesn't end there. So I had a happy, healthy baby, and voila, 9 months later, I was pregnant again. Mm-hmm. I saw some eyebrows on women raised in the room, yes. So this time it only took me a day or so to walk into John's office and share the news, and yes, you guessed it, he was equally as excited about the fact that I was going to have another baby. This was a little overwhelming. I was in a new job, not just a new job, but a really big career change, actually. And I had a newborn and an 18-month-old. I teach stress management, and I can tell you that was a little stressful. I can also tell you that I received nothing but unconditional support from John. I could not have asked to be working in a better place during that time in my life. It really was quite amazing. And as time went on, I think John just sort of probably sensed that I needed to laugh. And so in those early years, I'd be in the office getting supplies or my mail or whatever. And John would poke his head out of his office and say, "Terry, come on in here for a minute." And my life experience told me that it's not always a good thing to get called in the office. But John would tell me jokes, lots of jokes over the years, and we would laugh a lot. Sidebar, there's another life lesson. It's a really good idea to laugh at work. We're becoming really, really serious, and laughing at work is a really good thing. And John taught me that as well. So as time went on, John got to know my husband a bit, and then he would tell me crazy stories, usually about hunting and fishing, for me to take home and tell Craig. And to this day, when John comes in to say hello, he never leaves my office, and he did it again this evening when we said hello. He always asks, "How are the girls?" And the girls are 22 and 24 now, but they're still the most important part of my life. And John still recognizes that. And what I've come to learn is that when you work with people who care not only about you, but about the people that you care the most about, you're in a really, really good place. And I really appreciate and respect all of those years of that mentorship from John. So with that, I'd like to introduce, it is my pleasure to introduce, and my honor to introduce, the founding father of health promotion at UWSP, an amazing mentor and a good friend, Dr. John Munson.
Well, good evening, everyone. I promise not to tell any jokes tonight. I may promise. It is an honor to be here tonight because I think back quite a number of years ago now when I got a call on Easter morning, getting ready to go to church. Call from the dean of the college, and she said, "I've decided to reorganize the college, and I want you to move from your position as Associate Dean of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Athletics to come over to create a new school that doesn't have a name. And that will be your first job to come up with a name." And so I was fortunate to have a number of very good faculty members who came up with the name of School Health Promotion and Human Development. I've watched this grow. I've been retired 10 years now, and I watched from a distance at this point. I always come over and I say, "Are you having fun?" Because if you're not having fun in your job, it's time to change. Time to do something else. So as I watched this school develop, I've watched national and international reputations grow. All of the programs that we have in the school have superb recognition throughout the United States, and certainly in Wisconsin, but also around the world. They produce high quality students, exceptional students. And tonight we're going to meet a few of those students, but they're only a few. Each one of the majors has quite a number of other people who could have been recognized here just as well. So we've honored some people tonight, and we'll take a look at that. I always remember, I go, "Munson, you can only remember 3 things at once." You know, your memory's short. And so it's getting shorter as I get older. But I want to share those 3 things with you as I think about what lessons I have learned over a lot of years now. The first one is, it's very simple. When you think you have everything in place and it's just right, it's not. Life changes very, very quickly. And so as all of these new graduates go out into the world, you'll be so excited to get things just right in your job. And then your boss will come and say, "I'm changing your job description tomorrow. I want you to go a different direction." Or the thing that you were doing all of a sudden doesn't have enough resources and you've got to go do something else. So you must be able to adapt. Second thing, many of you are very bright. You are going to university and graduating from university because you have intellectual abilities. During your life, you will meet a lot of very intelligent people. But most of the time, if you put your mind to it, you can outwork those people. There'll be some people very, very, very smart, highly intelligent, more intelligent than you are. So if you put your mind to a good, hard, solid work and you stay at it, you can outwork them. You can do more things than you've ever imagined. Third thing, if you say you're going to show up, show up. If you tell your boss you're going to do something, do it. Now, I always tell people that I'm not an A person. I gave up on being a solid A person about 73 years ago. I'm a B plus person, maybe sometimes an A minus person. And so what that means is I might have 20 projects going at once. 2 of them will turn into A's. They're exceptional. All the rest of them, I'm looking for B pluses. I don't have time to be perfect in everything I do. What I try to do is do a very good, solid, high-level job. But don't spend so much time being at A plus every time. It'll ruin your life. You get so caught up into being the exceptional person, you forget to enjoy everything that's going on around you. Now, I've had a great opportunity to share with a lot of great faculty members. It's always fun for me to come over and say to these people, you know, what's going on now? And they'll say, well, you know, we've got some hard times going on. I go, that's true, we read about it in the newspaper, but it is what it is today. So you deal with each day as it comes your way. You may be able to make some changes and improve it, but it's what it is each day. And so you go in and you try to enjoy that. I've learned many years ago that your life outside of your work is just as important as your life inside of your work. I love the outdoors. When I was looking for a job, I'd look at a map, and I'd look at a map, and I'd go blue. Blue, there's water. If there's water, there's fish. If there's fish, there's Munson. No blue, no water, no fish, no Munson. Forget it. I have to stay true to who I am. And you'll have to do the same. Some of you are city people, and you'll love that life. Others of you will say, no, that's not me. You need to go be where you are most comfortable and build a life that you want. And I've had the good fortune to do that. So remember, you can outwork people. Just when you think you've got everything set, it isn't. What was the third one? Come on. Good. Somebody's listening. I'm always glad somebody's listening. You say you're going to show up, show up. And tonight we are going to honor those people who have shown up on a regular basis. They've done their work. They've excelled at what they're doing in their majors, and now they're being recognized at the beginning of their careers. It'll be fun 20 years from now when I'm going, what are you doing now? Or 30 years from now, I'll be going, what are you doing now? See, I'm an optimist. I'm going to live to be 140. That's my goal in life. And then I'll see if they've solved the aging problem by then. Thank you very much. I appreciate being here, and it is an honor to be part of this organization and this program.
That was great. John is always inspiring, and as Terry said, a great role model. One of my earliest memories of John was he helped my husband and I move into our apartment when we first moved here. So that's John. He's just involved and there to help and there to make you feel at home. So thank you so much. I had the pleasure of working with John for quite a few years, and I feel like I have missed the opportunity to work with our next speaker because she's an incredibly accomplished professional. Yvonne Greer is the owner of Why Eat Right Nutrition Consulting for Healthy Living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She provides expert nutritional advice and skill building workshops to promote healthy eating behaviors in youth and families, schools, faith-based, and community settings. Yvonne obtained her bachelor's degree from UWSP as a double major in dietetics and experimental foods. That doesn't exist anymore, but that's okay. Now we have sustainable foods. So how things change. She earned a master's degree in public health from the University of Minnesota, and she's currently working on a doctorate of public health through Walden University. She's worked 22 years as a nutrition coordinator for the City of Milwaukee Health Department. She's active in numerous partnerships that promote healthy living among various target populations, such as those with food insecurity, diabetes, and cancer survivors. She's also written several book chapters and co-authored a curriculum guide for youth and family agencies entitled Back to the Kitchen, Healthy Cooking Series as part of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Healthy Kids, Healthy Communities grant. In addition to being named Outstanding Alumna of our department back in 1994, she's also been recognized by numerous national, state, and local awards of excellence. Too many to name here, but I'll just name a few, which are the American Dietetic Association, the American Heart Association, and the March of Dimes. We are honored to have Yvonne Greer bring her words of wisdom from a wealth of experience and accomplishments to our scholarship banquet.
when I was doing all of these things, I would tell people that the only way I can do it all is to not talk about it. So you're giving me an opportunity to kind of share some things with you. And I have entitled my presentation as Cultivating Your Dreams. I'm going to read. I think we use my little reading glasses here. But it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here today to share some of my words of wisdom. And I say wisdom because I graduating in 1976. That means I have been in the field for 42 years. So I think I'm entitled for a little wisdom there. But now I want to take you on a little bit of a journey of my time at Stevens Point, my career, and then some words of encouragement as you continue to pursue what you aspire to be. When I was just very young, only 10 years old, I used to be one of these profound thinkers. I would ask, some kids ask, why is the sky blue? I would say, where does the food go when you eat it? And why do you get hungry and Carla, you have to eat several times? I used to try to go on kind of hunger strikes, but it didn't work. When my father would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would say a writer, a scientist, a teacher, but never a dietitian. Was speaking to my mother. She used to work at St. Luke's Hospital in Milwaukee. I told her that I didn't know what I wanted to be, but whatever I was going to go into, that I wanted to help people to live long and healthy lives. But I said I couldn't be a nurse because I couldn't stick people. However, and I was talking to my mother on the way up here because I told her I was going to tell this story. She insists that I said that I couldn't be a nurse because I didn't want to change bedpans, but I don't remember that. So she said, oh yeah, yes, you did. Okay. Well, at any rate, I also had a creative writing teacher who told me to go ahead on and be a dietitian because there's a lot of starving journalists out there and they work crazy hours. Dietitian, that's the way to go. So I told my counselor, and he said there was only 2 places to go in the state, Madison and Stevens Point. And I chose Stevens Point at the age of 16 when I came to this campus. There was a lot of experiences I had when I first came here, but one of the first experiences that I'm going to tell you about, I'm only going to tell you about a couple, was the idea that in my first class at 16, I could not understand what was going on because we had to read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. How many of you have heard of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? And the author, rest in peace, he just passed away recently, so it really brought that back to me. But I couldn't understand it because it was a very little complex kind of book, but when the movie came out, it really explained why it was hard for me to understand because it was being told through the eyes of a sane person in an insane asylum. So it was a little different. So, but as I sat there, I developed a poem, which I will read to you. And for some of you out there, you might be able to identify with what this poem is telling you. And I remember, I wrote this inside the class while the teacher in the class is talking about One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Okay. The classroom. I sit in the classroom staring at the door. Why am I here? What did I come for? My teacher talks, but I really can't hear. Is it him that's in fault, or am I just not in gear? I'm very confused. My grades are at stake. If I go on like this, what marks will I make? Should I just give up and run out the door? But no, I can't. I have so much to work for. So I'll sit and I'll try, for I know what's right. There's a time to cry and there's a time to fight. That's the way I started my career here, not knowing what's going to happen, if I could make it, anything. And that experience right there kind of told me that it gave me that perseverance. It gave me that will to go on just by being here. But another experience that you just experienced as well, I worked in the cops' cafeteria. I was the muffin girl. I was one that they would always sign me up only 15 strokes. Gently place the batter in the pan, and you get these great symmetrical muffins. I was like, oh my God, I could do something with food. It really taught me the appreciation of, recipes and knowing the composition of how food should be, and that what drove me to go into the experimental foods, and which they don't have anymore, but they had a big relationship with companies back then, and they would develop new products. Grace Hindle was one of the main persons that did that. Well, to sum up my overall experiences, I wanted to say that the knowledge and research methods taught at Point has carried me far. Wisconsin sets the bar for many programs, including, of course, the sustainable ag, your health and wellness promotions, your sports and fitness, I can go on, design, so many different ones. It builds confidence in you that you might not even know that you have until you're out in the world. Give you a point, in my internship at Howard University Hospital in Washington, D.C., that was in 1977, right after I graduated from here. The Academy, then known as the American Dietetic Association, came for a site visit, and I had only been there about 5 months, and they asked the whole internship class, do you think you're getting what you need to become a dietitian? And I was the first one. I don't know what made me do it, but I said, oh yes, I'm ready now. They was like, who is this person? I was offered a job before I even graduated or took my exam because of that. One of the individuals from the state of New York said, come work for me. Point's reputation of excellence will precede you. I wanted to make sure people would know that. I was surprised, and I didn't know that I was stepping into a legacy of greatness. I did not know while I was here when I left. Employers seemed to light up when I told them that I graduated from the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. I was surprised about that. They already seemed to know what they were getting when they interviewed a Stevens Point grad. They realized that they would be getting an individual with high skills, with the ability to think outside the box, an organizer and a person to get things done, a troubleshooter who could think critically about the problem at hand, review options, and select the best evidence-based solution. I know this because I once was the employer of several Stevens Point grads, and I never was disappointed with the individuals that I employed. My final words to you are to always pursue your dreams. My father used to say, baby, just dream big. If you dream big, you accomplish great things. If you dream small, you'll never accomplish anything. Always be open to opportunities. Going beyond your comfort zone will stimulate your personal growth. I remember times when I was asked to be on the TV within 2 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Then I said, okay, just calm down. You could do it, you could do it. And I did. I found out that when it's taped, it wasn't as bad as when it was live. When it's taped, they're only going to take a snippet. When you're live, you're just out there. Radio became my favorite. And I was just on the radio about 2 weeks ago, and I have a dietetic intern working with me, and she was like, I can't believe you make this happen. I said, I'm always ready to go on the radio. I keep those relationships going. So the other thing that I wanted to make sure is that you knew that, let's see where I'm at. I don't think I'm further down. Okay. Okay. I think I wanted to really make sure that your goals and your ideas of what you may want to be may change many times as you go through your life journey. I once thought the only thing that I wanted to be was a clinical dietitian. Then I saw an opportunity to reach more people. Because remember, when I was real young, I said, all I want to do is reach as many people as I can to promote health and wellness. Well, I thought, well, going into prevention world, now I'll go into public health. Now I can reach more people, which I did. However, there is governmental restrictions on what you can do. So then I said, well, I think I could even do better on my own. I started my own private practice business, Why Eat Right, nutritional consultant for healthy living. I'm doing all sorts of different things, including some of the same things I was doing as a public health nutritionist. However, waiting around for someone to include me in their grants made me say, I need to be the principal investigator of my own grants. I need a doctorate. So that's why I'm getting a doctorate, so I can continue on. I told people I retired from the health department to work. And that's what I'm doing. But it's, as Dr. Munson said, it is a pleasure to do what you really want to do in life. Stevens Point will form the foundation of knowledge which will allow you to excel to great heights. I want people to realize that that foundation, when I left here, there was some people saying, you're trying to outshine the other girls. I'm like, no, I'm prepared. Stevens Point prepares you for that even if you don't even realize it. So to cultivate your own dreams and to carve out your own path for the future, I feel that it's time for you now to capitalize on what Point has given you. I wish you much success in your journeys.
Wow, that was great. Thank you. Inspiring and such a good role model. So our next introduction is our Dean, Marty Loy. He's our former chair of the School of Health Promotion and Human Development. So give Marty a warm welcome. Thank you, Marty.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Corey and Deanna and the whole faculty and staff for what you do every day. And this is just an example of what they put together and how the high quality of their work. So thank you very much. And then it was so nice to see John Munson here because John Munson hired me. And when John hired me and called me up and said, I'd like to give you a job working at UW Stevens Point, I negotiated with him and I said, I want one thing. Remember what that was? I said, he wants you to take me fishing as often as I want. And John did. And so I thank you for that. It's been a pleasure working with you, John, too. And one other thing John mentioned was the high quality of our students. We have really high quality students and high quality faculty and staff. And so that's why the college gives out 2 awards, one to a student and one to a faculty member that we call our hero. And when you go out the doors, you'll see banners of our heroes outside the door, and those pictures or banners stay up throughout the year. And this year, out of the nearly 4,000 students and 150 faculty and staff in our college, both of those award winners are here in this school. So again, a testament to your high quality of your students. So first I'd like to introduce the student hero, Madison Main. Would you come on up and join me? Madison? Oh, you're right in front of me. And I'd like you to learn more about Madison. Can you join me?
Many of our students do really great things, but once in a while one does something truly heroic. There are many reasons why the Heroes Award is so special to us. For one, it honors a college professional studies student who's done something truly heroic. It always impresses me to hear the stories of what our students have done. They're doing amazing things, and this gives us a chance to honor them. In some cases, our students have overcome a personal challenge. In other cases, they've advocated for somebody in need. And in other cases, they've done things that have really made an impact on the community or the world. The award itself comes with a substantial scholarship. The original scholarship came from friends of Casey Gazdick. Casey was a student of ours in the college who died in 2001, and his friends and family created a fund on his behalf. Casey was their hero. Since then, many people have made contributions to the Heroes Fund on behalf of their heroes as well.
I haven't known Madison all her life, but from the little I know, she seems to have consistently been concerned about those in need, those with special needs, She learned sign language in high school so that she could better communicate with this special needs young man for 2 years, her junior and senior year, helping him out with school and so forth. Then I know when she came here to UWSP, she got a job working over in the Disability Services Office, again, concerned about helping all students to have equal access to education. Got to know her really well when we went to Romania. It was intense, to say the least.
For a lot of people, when I talk about Romania and I say we went to an orphanage of people with disabilities, they're like, wow, that must have been rough. And it was, but this is like a sanctuary compared to where they came from. And it was so cool to be there and be involved in their lives. Stop crying. We were there, we were at the orphanage for 10 days, and I think a lot of people came on the trip with the assumption that we were volunteering our time to make their lives better. And something that Dr. Wall reminded us of a lot in the first couple of days was that we were there to learn together. They were learning from us and we were learning from them. And it was a team effort, not a coaching effort, if you will. And I think it took people a while to really understand that. But I guarantee if you ask any person that went on that trip with me, they will say that they changed, that the children there changed their lives way more than we changed theirs. And that was kind of that was the hard part about being there and having to leave, is that I knew that we didn't change anything while we were there. We didn't change, and nothing would be different when we left. But being able to have been there for those 10 days and make those 10 days really awesome is enough for now. I knew as soon as we left that I would be going back someday. I don't know when and I don't know how, but I am. And I think making that decision before we left is why I didn't cry when we left. It was really hard to be on the bus, just the 50 feet down the driveway, like watching everyone else just like crying and sobbing as we were leaving, because they are never going back. Someday I will. I don't know when, but I will. It's on my list.
She was there for the orphans, she's there for those in need, she's there for her peers, and she wants to go back for more and help them again. That's what makes Madison, Maine incredible.
What I plan to do with the scholarship money is to provide scholarships for people who come on the trip with me. I want to use the resources that I have to get other people the ability to go and to have the experience that I had, and to go back and to see those kids, and even if it's for 5 days this time, to give them a really great 5 days, because they deserve a really great 5 days. So, fingers crossed.
It's a special award that honors true, real-life heroes.
I'm crying again.
Oh, wait, I got the box here.
Okay,
You don't want that.
Thank you.
Great. Annie Weather, would you join me? So Eve, if you're ready, let's learn about Annie and her work.
What most people don't realize is that we have faculty from all over the world who come here to teach our students, and they bring with them expertise that they share with the community. And what this award does is allows us the opportunity to share some of the great work that they're doing. And we're proud to be able to award the Ethel and Ward Cable Family Faculty Heroes Award.
I grew up in Stevens Point, a couple blocks from the university, and My parents were our heroes, were my heroes, but lost my dad when we were quite young, and my mother was really the one that raised us and took care of us and lived a life as a widow for over 60 years. Amazing woman.
And little Ethel will always be an inspiration to me, whether she's living or gone. And I am so happy to be a part of this Heroes Fund. Giving back to the university was always something I think that she would be real pleased about that.
Portage County Can, as a coalition, grew out of the 2005 county health assessment that showed that obesity was the #1 health concern in the community. And it's been a wonderful experience since the very beginning. I've learned a lot, and we've grown, and the number of partners that we've engaged have expanded, and the number of students that we've been able to involve in our work has been one of the most rewarding things. We've partnered with healthcare entities such as Ministry Healthcare and Aspirus. We've partnered with the school districts, with the YMCA, with the Boys and Girls Club, Aging and Disability Resource Center, Farm Shed, Farm to School. It's really endless. We're capitalizing on the expertise and the skills of our dietetics, health promotion wellness, and family and consumer science majors, but we have a great website now. We used to have a terrible website. We have a great website now because web and media design students, computer information systems students are building our website. Marketing students are developing our marketing plans and managing our social media communication strategies. So it's an opportunity for lots of different students to put into practice what they're learning.
Building PCCAN and moving forward with it became certainly a movement that Annie demonstrates complete passion with. She's rich with resources in terms of students and her community connections and the energy she brings to just even garner folks and pull them into the movement and excite them about being present at either an activity or even a meeting so they can learn more about us is inspiring.
It's not all about running fast, it's about being active with others and enjoying the event because it celebrates health and activity. My father, who escaped from Hungary in 1956 when it was occupied by the Russians. What he went through to become a scientist at IBM in the United States is nothing short of incredible. And I know I haven't accomplished nearly half as much as what he has, but I know that he suffered setbacks and challenges, and he just soldiered on and persisted. And I think from my mother, what I get is a sense of always being involved in something greater than yourself, contributing to your community. My mother right now is basically a professional volunteer. And I have a feeling that's probably what I'm going to do when I retire, is continue this kind of work and contributing to the community. I'm not being honored for my grace.
These awards actually were sort of the thinking of two of our donors and two of our friends of the university, and Dick and Judy Cable. And I don't know where you're sitting. They're over here. So Judy's up there, and Dick, would you raise your hand just for a second? There you go. And so tonight we were just honored to have Judy Cable here to say a few words. Judy Cable Anderson, sorry.
Each year, as our family awards the Ethel and Ward Cable, can everybody hear me? The Ethel and Ward Cable Family Heroes Fund to a remarkable faculty member and to an outstanding student, our family names a hero, someone that we all know and love, someone who was admired by others and showed great compassion toward others. This year, our hero is Bob Cable, our family hero for sure. Bob will be forever connected with our parents' fund, the Ethel and Ward Cable Family Heroes Fund. Bob was husband to Lois, father to Greg and Jennifer, grandpa to Justin, Allie, Katie, Mark Jr., Bailey, father-in-law to Angie and Mark, and brother to Bill, Dick, and Judy. He was a loving member to our extended cable family and a very good friend to many, many people. Bob was 80 years old when he died last January 15th, 2017, of a fast-growing brain tumor. He was a Sioux Line Railroad engineer for nearly 40 years, following in our family's footsteps of our grandfather, Ira Cable, our dad, Ward Cable, and for a short time, our brother, Bill, to help complete 100 consecutive years of railroad employment with the Sioux Line for the Cable family. Bob loved to travel and took his family to all 50 states. He stayed in touch with classmates from high school and longtime friends on these travels. They meant a lot to him. Friendship meant a lot to Bob. After he retired and Lois retired from teaching, they sought out flea markets and antique shops. His favorite comment was he loved the thrill of the hunt. Friends were very important, as I said, to Bob, and he had lots of them. He embodied the phrase, to be a good friend. I remember so well when he was in high school, his tender-heartedness at befriending friends with special needs, especially his friends, Glenn and Polly. He related to everyone, even at a young age, and it made quite an impression on this little sister. He was generous and kind. He was a humorous fellow, often the life of our family parties. He shared memories of his hitchhiking days while sitting on a sofa with a bow ribbon on his forehead. We'd laugh as he shared so many funny shenanigans he pulled on our family over the years. He loved a good joke, and he was very good at telling them. In his later years, Bob accepted diminishing eyesight caused by macular degeneration with such quiet strength. Bob Cable was a big man with a big heart. He loved his family intensely, and we recognize him this year as our hero.
Thank you. And just a little acknowledgement and appreciation to Eva for creating those videos. Well done, Eva. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to those 3 units that I mentioned. We're going to start out. We're going to start by dancing. We're going to start with the Family Consumer Sciences Awards. It will have, we have 2 representatives from the unit. We have a faculty member, Susan Turgeson, and we also have another faculty member, Sweet Ting Lee. So let's give them a warm welcome and they'll announce the recipients.
those students who are receiving scholarships will come to the front and so we can keep things moving right along. We have so many wonderful students to recognize tonight. It's absolutely our honor to be here to recognize their accomplishments. And for the sake of time, we're only going to say just something very brief about each of them. We could go on and on because we really think the world of all of them. So our first scholarship being awarded this evening is the Donald and Eleanor Ansay Memorial Family and Consumer Sciences Scholarship. This scholarship is for a student pursuing teaching certification in family and consumer sciences and was established by the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point alumna Karen McCullough to honor the memory of her parents, Donald and Eleanor Ansay. The first recipient of this scholarship is Bethany Benning. Bethany will be student teaching in the fall. Michael Friedel isn't with us this evening. He is student teaching in Sheboygan this semester and will be graduating in the spring. And Miranda Stroik. Miranda is currently student teaching in Mosinee and will be graduating this spring and will soon be featured in our Hired Before Graduation series. The next scholarship is the John and Catherine Lauder Scholarship. This scholarship is for family and consumer sciences students planning to be family and consumer sciences kindergarten through 12th grade educators in public schools and who are members of the Wisconsin Association of Family and Consumer Sciences. This scholarship was started by Catherine and John Lauder. Kathy earned both her bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point in Family and Consumer Sciences education. This year, our recipients are Kira Ritchie. Kira will be student teaching next spring, and Heather Stocks, who will also be student teaching next spring. The Dora Phelps Scholarship is available to family and consumer sciences students who work as student employees at the university and is based on character, academic achievement, and concern for others. This year, the recipient is Dallas Stelter. Dallas serves as our Health Promotion and Human Development Office Assistant and plans to pursue graduate degree in Community and Organizational Leadership. Don't run away, you have one more. Dallas is also being honored with our Dean's Award as the Outstanding Senior in Family and Consumer Sciences. The next scholarship is the Faye Finch Clifford Scholarship. This scholarship is given in memory of Faye Finch Clifford and is awarded to a student majoring in Family and Consumer Sciences education. Macy Staub is our recipient this year. Macy will be the treasurer for the Stevens Point Association of Family and Consumer Sciences next year, and she's scheduled to student teach fall of 2019. The Bessie Mae Allen Home Economics Scholarship is awarded to a junior majoring in home economics. We were founded as Home Economics, now known as Family and Consumer Sciences. Hannah Mall is the recipient this year. Hannah has served as the president of the University Council on Family Relations. Our Dean's Award for the Outstanding Junior in Family and Consumer Sciences is being presented to Isaac Justice. Isaac's been the treasurer for the Stevens Point Association of Family and Consumer Sciences for 2 years, and he'll be student teaching next spring. Isaac has also been our marketing ploy and has appeared on posters and other publications that we have, so we're very proud of Isaac and the work that he's done in Family and Consumer Sciences. The Jane Wright Abrahamson Home Economics Scholarship is awarded to a student who has demonstrated leadership and civic activity. Amanda Robleski is a recipient this year. Amanda has worked with the Upward Bound program, and her plans are to pursue her graduate degree in student affairs. The Rita Yeoman Scholarship is awarded to recognize an outstanding family and consumer sciences major. Cora Selke isn't with us this evening. Cora is a freshman who is assisted with the YMCA Kids cooking classes and will be student teaching in 2021. Amanda Butala, though, is with us, and she is also a recipient of this scholarship, as well as the Barbara Inch Scholarship. The Barbara Inch Scholarship was established to help support the costs of a non-traditional woman or a single parent to attend the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. At this time, could we ask Barb to please stand so we can recognize you and show you our appreciation for providing this scholarship to our students. Amanda is fluent in Spanish, and she works with the Portage County Literacy Council and plans to pursue graduate studies in marriage and family therapy. And our final scholarship this evening is the Dr. Agnes Jones Scholarship. This scholarship is awarded to Family and Consumer Sciences students who demonstrate leadership, professional potential, ambition, academic achievement, good character, and concern for others. Dallas Stelter, did she run away? This is another award that is being bestowed upon Dallas this evening, as well as Fonda Whitmer. Fonda will be spending her fall semester in Rwanda working for social justice. Let's give a warm round of applause to all of our recipients this evening. You're next up to hand out awards for health promotion and wellness.
Maybe give a little shout out to Sterling too.
Oh. Well, you
Just
saw
for being
Dr.
another
Sterling Wall happened to be featured in the Heroes video of Madison, Maine. So he is the third member of our Family and Consumer Sciences Department. Dr. Wall.
Okay, I'm Tom Wetter, and I'm Unit Coordinator of Health Promotion. And if we could have the recipients for the Health Promotion Awards come on up here. I think I might need to use my glasses. I didn't realize I should have printed in like 20-point font. You know about that, John? Yeah. Okay, our first award tonight is the Ski Memorial Scholarship, which is awarded to a student who promotes health and positivity every day. And that goes to Madeline Kincher, who's finishing her freshman year, but has already done amazing things like reviving the UWSP running club and being an active member of the NWI student chapter. She's a former sprinter, but I'm pretty sure that I can turn her into a pretty good marathon runner. Addie? The next scholarship is the Bud Steiner Memorial Scholarship. Bud was a 1965 graduate who was killed while riding his bike across Canada. This award is based on both academics and financial need and goes to Sophie Forbes. Sophie is a sophomore who's a member of the Love Your Melon campus crew, which supports children battling pediatric cancer and is the publicity chair for the NWI student chapter. And also to Isaiah Harmison. Isaiah is a junior who's a member of the leadership team on campus, which helps recruit diverse students to UWSP, and is the vice president of the NWI student chapter. The Paul Stadler Scholarship was established to help recipients find the means to enhance the lives of future UWSP students. And this award goes to Shawnee Sarkinen. Shawnee is a junior who came to Point as a volleyball athlete and now works at Granite Peak. So I'm pretty sure we can blame her for the recent snowstorm. Just saying. She would like to become a community worker or health coach. Congratulations. The School of HPHD Faculty and Alumni Scholarship is awarded to Katie Ohlenbrach. Katie is a senior who is nearly a 4.0 student and has just completed her internship at Train for Your Best up in Wausau. I read her application, and she wrote that someday she hopes that she will be able to give scholarships to future students. which is pretty amazing. But Katie, don't do that just yet. Make some money, pay your parents back, get a job, enjoy life, then you can do it. The Sadie Stevens Memorial Study Abroad Scholarship, which was established by Lucy Rose Johns in memory of her grandmother, who only had a formal 7th grade education but taught Lucy more than anyone. The intent of the award is to give students in CPS the opportunity to study and serve abroad. And tonight, Lucy Rose Johns was here. She had to leave just a little while ago, but she was an amazing person. And the recipient is Jenna Varner. Jenna is a senior whose long-term goal is to become an occupational therapist and who will be going to Nicaragua with Terry Idema on her trip this summer. And I hesitate to suggest what Jenna might get out of the experience, but others have described the trip as life-changing and providing them with a totally new outlook on life. So Jenna has that to look forward to. The Jane Jones Scholarship. Jane Jones was is a retired health promotion wellness faculty member. And the Dean's Award for Outstanding Junior in Health Promotion Wellness goes to Claire Gorman. Claire is an excellent student. She's a pianist, an NWI conference coordinator, and volunteers through her church. And she's also involved with the Office of Sustainability here on campus as the Student Special Events Coordinator. Congratulations, Claire. The Booth Harden Scholarship is given to a student studying abroad, and this goes to Maham Khan, who is a junior. She's the captain of the UWSP rugby team, NWI Student Chapter treasurer, works 2 jobs, and is involved with too many other volunteer committees to mention. Congratulations. John, do you want to come up and present your award? I can do it? Okay. So the John and Barb Munson Health Promotion Award to an Outstanding Senior goes to Haley Hepner. Haley's heavily involved in NWI and the student chapter. Haley's also a runner. I think I have her picture on my wall after finishing the Twin Cities Marathon. Is that right? Haley is an amazing student, and we're looking forward to what she does when she graduates. Congratulations. The Sherry Hall Outstanding Senior in Health Promotion Award is given for academic achievement and involvement. And the Dean's Award for Outstanding Senior goes to Brittany Zander. Brittany is a 4.0 student, secretary of the NWI student chapter. She volunteers as a big sister for Big Brothers and Sisters, and also through her church. And I got to know Brittany pretty well because she volunteered to lead tutoring sessions for my exercise physiology class. And so I think she would make an awesome exercise physiologist. Just put that in your brain there. So congratulations, Brittany. And the last award is the Jack Lane Memorial Scholarship, which goes to Lexi Grzana, who is a graduating senior and who has just completed her internship at Lincoln County Health Department. I read her writing about her experience. She said, "After having this experience, I want to continue to make a difference in the community and be a part of something bigger. Making others happy truly makes me happy." And it's good to know that we have people like Lexi and all the other recipients here who are going to become our future professionals. So congratulations, Lexi, and all the others.
Would all the FN award recipients please come down? Mylea Jong is a senior dietetic student and the recipient of the Faye Finch Clifford Scholarship. Mylea will be graduating next month. She's a student operational manager at the DUC Food Court, the highest management position for a student on campus. A fun fact about Mylea is that during her study abroad trip in Thailand last summer, she tried durian. You heard of durian? A fruit she describes as smelling like dirty feet. But apparently it was sweet and creamy, and she loved the taste of it. Mylea plans to pursue a career in food service management, so don't be too surprised if durian appears on the menu. Congratulations. Dana Doreen is a junior dietetic student and the recipient of the Dr. Agnes A. Jones Scholarship. Dana is pursuing degrees in both dietetics and Spanish. Dana is the student bakery manager at the CPS Cafe. Each morning, when I walk by the cafe, I take time to inhale the wonderful aromas created by Dana. Congratulations. Jessica Vlack is a senior dietetic student and the recipient of the Rita Human Scholarship. This scholarship will come in handy as she begins her dietetic internship at Viterbo University this fall. Jessica recently found out that she was also selected for the Chancellor's Leadership Award. What a way to conclude her undergraduate career at UWSP. Kelsey Fiddler is a junior dietetic student and the recipient of the Judy Lubnar Honorary Scholarship. Kelsey is very active within the UWSP community. Besides her involvement with the Student Association of Nutrition and Dietetics, Kelsey also belongs to Gamma Phi Delta, a local sorority, and Love Your Melon, you heard of that already, a campus club that supports and raises awareness for pediatric cancer. Congratulations. Lacey Nickman is a sophomore dietetic student and the recipient of the Dora Phelps Scholarship. Lacey shared that her favorite color is yellow, and it's no wonder. She's like a ray of sunshine. Every time I see her, she always has a big smile on her face. She is bright, inquisitive, and enthusiastic in class, and I think she has found her passion in dietetics. Congratulations. Dan Kellner is a senior dietetic student and the recipient of the Jane Wright Abrahamson Home Economics Scholarship. Dan is also a musician. He plays the drums and the piano. In the future, Dan plans to become a sports dietitian and open up his own private practice. Congratulations. At this point, I would like to recognize a donor family, the Marlene A. Jensen Cable family. Marlene's parents were living in Rochelle at the time of her birth at St. Michael's Hospital in Stevens Point. Her father had a dental practice in Rochelle. However, after his discharge from the Navy in 1945, Dr. Jensen moved his practice and family to Stevens Point, where Marlene attended school. She attended the UW Stevens Point Training School for her elementary grades, Emerson Junior High, and P.J. Jacobs High School, before enrolling at Central State Teachers College, which was UW Stevens Point in 1956. Marlene began her major in home economics, but changed to elementary education after her freshman year. Prior to her senior year in college, Marlene and Dick Cable married on August 8, 1959. About the middle of her final semester, Marlene signed a contract to teach in Whiting Stevens Point upon graduation in June. She was forced to terminate the contract when she found out that she was pregnant. The school system did not allow a pregnant woman to teach at that time. How things have changed. Marlene and Dick and their 4 children, Kurt, Dan, Kathy, and Jody, moved to Eau Claire in 1972, where Marlene continued to be a full-time mom. She did find time to get involved in several community groups, including Trinity Lutheran Church, PEO, the University Book Group, and UW Eau Claire Foundation. One group in which Marlene was particularly passionate was the University Single Parent Scholarship Fund, which she helped start. What she liked most about this fund was that it helped women with children and very few resources obtain a college education. It was most fitting that when Marlene passed away in 2009 after a long siege with liver cancer, friends began a new single parent fund at UW Eau Claire in her honor. The fund was named the Heroes Fund, in which Marlene was to be the first hero, with others being named and added in the future. Everyone has a hero, and Marlene has been a hero to her family and friends, for sure. Marlene's husband, Dick Cable, is here tonight along with many family members. Please help me to thank them. Our next award recipient is Heidi Topping. Heidi is a junior dietetic student and the recipient of both the Eskrit Scholarship Fund and the Marlene A. Jensen Cable Scholarship. Heidi has a degree in culinary arts from Le Cordon Bleu. Besides excelling in food and nutrition courses, Heidi has demonstrated a high proficiency in biology and chemistry. She is a special instruction leader for chemistry and a science tutor at the Tutoring and Learning Center. She's here tonight with her husband, daughter, and son, and they must be so proud of her. Congratulations. Casey Keeson is a junior dietetic student and the recipient of the Barb Inch Scholarship, so thanks again. A fun fact about Katie, she has a degree in criminal justice and was a former law enforcement officer for the state of New Mexico. Katie's husband and son are also here tonight to celebrate with us. Holly Cray is a junior dietetic student and the recipient of the Grace Hendel Dietetic Scholarship and the Dean's Award for Outstanding Junior in Dietetics. Holly is also a co-president of our very active Student Association of Nutrition and Dietetics. Holly is employed by Dining and Summer Conference to manage their Seaboard food service software. Holly confesses that she's an avid plant enthusiast, but she kills nearly all the plants that she buys. I must admit, that is something we have in common. Fortunately, we have both chosen dietetics as our career and not botany. Sydney Wayner is the recipient of the Dean's Award for Outstanding Junior in Sustainable Food and Nutrition. Last summer, Sydney and her childhood friend decided to take a road trip to the Pacific Northwest. When they arrived, they found jobs gardening for neighbors and volunteering at a local food bank. This demonstrates Sydney's willingness to serve others and her adventurous spirit. Congratulations. Our last recipient tonight is Emily Schmanda. She's the recipient of the Dean's Award for Outstanding Senior in Sustainable Food and Nutrition. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us this evening. At this time, please help me congratulate our award recipients.
Thank you. So before we conclude this awesome event, just a quick shout out. We didn't have enough opportunities for everybody to talk. I know it seems like there were a lot of us up here tonight, but just some appreciation that we can quick show for another faculty who's not presenting, Dr. Sally Scoville. And our academic advisor that steers students correctly down the path of our majors, Becky Konetsky. So, we have a little surprise for you as we conclude and celebrate and have a little party. We also have some desserts and snacks provided by the cafe. So, as soon as we conclude the formal part of tonight, we're gonna have some fun out here. Okay, we have some sugar to get us to get us active and we can enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you all so much for coming. That concludes the event.